to Criterion Corner. I'm your host, Scotty V. I review movies on the Criterion Channel every Wednesday at 5 p.m. And today we have Dead Man. It was released in 1995. A Western, kind of an anti-Western as many people call it, directed by Jim Jarmusch, and starring Johnny Depp and Gary Farmer and many notable names like John Hurt, Billy Bob Thornton, Crispin Glover, and many others. Dead Man is the story of an accountant, William Blake, the same name as the poet, which comes into play during the film. It tells the story of an accountant that goes cross-country on a train ride for a job that he is assured he has, but when he gets there, he discovers he doesn't have the job, and everything spirals out of control from there. And the inciting incident is that he is shot at and someone is killed, and then he shoots and kills them, and then he's a man on the run. Eventually he's found by a character called Nobody, is a Native American played by Gary Farmer quite brilliantly. He was my favorite character. I was really into him, and he helps him with his gunshot wound, and they go on their own version of the Odyssey. I guess he was named Nobody as an inspiration from the Odyssey, according to Jim Jarmusch. The entire film is in black and white and beautifully shot. I heard they had a lot of trouble making this movie. They just didn't have the budget they needed because they decided to shoot it in black and white, but it's also cheaper to shoot in black and white, so it's a trade-off. But yeah, I heard they had some budget issues, but it's beautiful for what they did. The cinematography is beautiful. It looks great on film. Johnny Depp and Gary Farmer are both brilliant. All the actors are brilliant in this movie. They just play so well off of each other and really fit in that old Western style. I am not normally into Westerns. I haven't liked many because just that setting and that type of story doesn't interest me very much, and its usual depiction of Native Americans or American Indians in that setting is usually really bad in those old Hollywood movies, just really offensive. And this one, I feel like it subverts more stereotypes and tropes of the genre, and a lot of people do call it an anti-Western, because it does play off of those expectations and subvert them. Overall, I thought the writing was very, very beautiful. It was very Jim Jarmusch. My favorite movie by him is Patterson, and I believe this would be my second favorite. It's one of my favorite movies that I've ever seen on the channel, actually. It really surprised me. Just beautiful imagery and the poetry of the words. It's typical for his films. Just the poetry of the imagery in the words, and the poetry in that the repetition of themes, like asking him if he has tobacco, and he's like, I don't smoke, and he says that multiple times throughout the film. There's these themes that repeat like a reprise, and very much like a stanza of poetry. The music is really beautiful by Neil Young. It was great having that modern, electric guitar, sometimes acoustic, kind of ambient, but juxtaposed with that Western setting where you typically have that the more orchestral, or native music, and it was a really fresh, interesting take on the genre, and I definitely like that aspect as well. I feel like Johnny Depp doesn't get to stretch much in the first part of the film. He's not what I would call likable. He's relatable in that he's not into guns. He's not in a Western world. He's an accountant, one that you don't usually follow in Westerns. He's a unique character that you don't usually see. Usually you see that gunslinger. You don't see a character who's completely unprepared for the situation and then grows to become a gunslinger in the end. He does is a very dynamic character by the end of the movie, and I did really like where it ended up. You know, some people were upset by the ending, but I just think it's an all around beautiful movie. I typically like his endings, and yeah, definitely my second favorite movie by him. I highly recommend you check out this movie while it's on the channel. I hope it stays there for a while so you get a chance to see it. Just beautiful. I know I saw some people on some Criterion groups online that thought it was his worst film, but so far I've only seen 4 Jim Jarmusch films. But this is my second favorite. Definitely a great film. That's it for Criterion Corner. I'm your host, Scotty V. You can catch us every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Like, share, and subscribe.